It's going to work. I'll show you in a second. Here's the antenna tunes. If you want this for the macov5000, but this is with the antenna on. And I'll show you with the antenna tuner off when I remove it. I'll show you in a second. That's the knobs you want to set for. Here's the SWR for real. For the macov5000 in channel 20, let's tune it down and show you the result. And it's looking beautiful on that mark. This is the MFJ or the Arecibo is kicking butt. I haven't transmitted yet. We'll do that when we get some time. But I'll show you it's going to work okay. And then why I had to did this, when that little ground thing was removed, little connector, you have to hook it to the bounce thing with the ground. And I'll show you in a second what I had to do. It'll jump to a 3, but the Arecibo is working. And we did great. This is for the macov5000. When I took it off, it's 1.7. I'll show you the result when I, let's see if I brighten it up so you guys see it. That's all we had to connect to that. That's the only way it's going to keep the SWR low. If you get one of these antenna tuners, this one I have, if you get like models look like this, you have to get one of these jumper wires. Some guy made this. And you probably have to remove it when you connect a wire antennas. That's why you do. With this, you have to have this to connect this thing to that. With it had 2 washers and it had 2 small 2 washers and a tiny washer on the top that direction. The 2 washers between. I put the connector between the 2 washers and put the small washer to the top and reconnect it that way. And that's what I did. And it brought the SW down perfectly when I want. When I took it off, it's like 1.17 on the SWR. You guys seen that thing on the back where it shows what the description talks about on my previous video. So she is working good. You guys see the nanovna. This is what you can do. What you do, you can hook up this to the transmitter to the nanovna. And this goes to the macov5000. That's the one though, this was the one that connected to the Allen K160, the one with the small antenna match you've seen on the top of the display of the Cobra 139. We can put it up there right now and check it out, but just want to tell you the antenna matcher is working. So it's set to K, but also it can do on J, it's set to L. So it's perfect on L, but you can set it to K if you want. And look what K does. It jumped a few meters up. That's like if you're going to go down to 28 megahertz, if you want to go all the way to the upper bands. But when I switch it to L, watch what it does. It just made it perfect when it jumped all flat lines. 1.4 on the SWR with the antenna matcher on. But when I disconnect it, you guys will see it in a second when I'll show you in a minute. And I'll show you guys, that's the connectors connecting to it right now. When I disconnect it from this line here, the antenna line, and the transmission line. I think I'm quite right, yes. No, that's the antenna line. No, that's the antenna here, and the transmission line here. We'll show you that in a minute, and so I'll show you what it looks like. And it's looking beautiful, guys. And we'll be able to check out how many watts this thing's putting out. So I'll be right back in a couple minutes and show you the result when I disconnect the antenna matcher with this. So we left off from there. See, we got it hooked up to the antenna, the macov5000, just like I did. That goes to the back of the SWR thing with the one with the K160, the one you seen on this display on the Cobra 139 up here. So it's good, good. So okay, we'll show you the SWR meter what it looks like. I'm going to tune it down. But today is August 16, 2024. So you guys can see it. So we're looking at 1.16, 1.5, 1.16. That's without the antenna matcher with channel 20. So we know this thing is going to be working good we can actually see the watt meter, but we don't have to. We will use this for the antenna, for the beam antenna. That's what this baby's for. It'll be for the beam antenna once this thing's hooked up. Then you just swipe the cable over to the transmission line, and you'll be fine for all the other radios. So she's looking beautiful, guys. And I tell you, the Arecibo is in business. And she's gonna be really rocking and rolling. But once you got this is the safe side. You can do it with the Nano VA. This thing is an amazing tool. This is like hooked up with no antenna tuner right now. You guys saw the result what I showed you. And so everything, the SWRs looks perfect. When I put it on the antenna matcher, it drops it down to 1.4 on channel 20. And you always have to have it in the L position or K, but it says in the basic manual, it shows here. I was pretty quite close, but I think it's a little bit off on the knobs. But it might be kind of different when you get higher SWR. It could be right. You gotta look at the 28 megahertz in the manual. That will give you a very close reading around here. But yeah, it's actually quite right for the 10 meter band, but it's pretty close to the 11 meter band. Pretty quite right on schedule on this. It's pretty accurate. You can always switch K to go over to channel 805, but 805 is looking good on that one too right now. So you got to look at channel 28 megahertz, 10 meter band, and this will get you close to the 11 meters. It's usually about right, but it's not 8.5, but the correct alphabet is right for this one. Inductions, L is right, pretty quite right for that one. So mostly these are kind of wrong, but these probably actually will work for 28 megahertz, like the 8 and 9 for the transmission, and tune it down to, that's the low, because the low is actually the one with the knob cranker, which we don't have on this one. The one you got to look at important, these here and here. Usually these are pretty quite right, because when I tune it up, the 28 megahertz goes down, but usually the 27 does. It could be a little bit off on some things, but these, if you got one with a, if it does have a ground jumper, just get one, make one for yourself. I don't know what kind of wire that guy put it in, but it does very quite good and it works. The guy who did this to this antenna matcher did a good job on this, and he probably got a bigger one soon. But she's doing good. The Arecibo is in business, and I think we're gonna show you some videos on the beam antenna, the Series SY27. We'll actually see, we'll do it during this week. Today it's just all wet outside because we had some storms a while ago. About 2.5 hours ago we had thunderstorms. Lucky we didn't have no lightning or anything. We just had a lot of rain for about an hour and a half today, and it went over to Knoxville. That's where it went. We might get some more tomorrow because of the daytime heating. So yeah, and plus the thing out there I'm drilling right now with the pipe, I actually put another one of those rods inside of it. We got it done drilling on that, and now I'm doing the top drilling for the last one on the top to put the last rod in it's the antenna mount I'm doing, and still digging the hole still. So it's quite good. And I finally got my first taste of corn today. So a little small one because I pulled it out 2 or 3 days ago when I did that. So this is the Arecibo. She's doing good. So you guys saw it on hand when I showed you what it can do. So we know it's working. But make sure you have that set up if you get one of these. If you get an MFJ bounce line tuner, an MFJ-974H, make sure you get some kind of connecting wire for that thing, for the ground inside on this thing. When you connect it to the antenna bounce thing on the bottom of it, that's the ground. I think it is. I think that's what it shows on the instructions. That could be the ground, which right here it tells you all that. You can find this online, which I haven't. Just you guys can go look at it. Usually I found this on the MFJ website, but I think that's the ground on the back of it. The bottom is the ground connected to that, and on the antenna bouncer, that's what keeps the SWR very low. That's what grounds it. So it shouldn't be okay with the boxes, the amp boxes I have here, like the 200 watt one and the RM relay. Should be able to work fine with this. It should be okay with the system. And if I want to go a little better on the RM Italy's. You could always go between, obviously, between 250 or between 300, not above it. The antenna matcher should be okay. So this guy didn't like, this was talking about ground P, but I think the one on the ground, that is actually what it is. It talks about it right there. So I hope you guys know I did it right. I connected it. That's what dropped the SWR quite a bit. It should be okay. No antenna matching problems, but they say you have to remove the jumper if you want to put the antenna lead in. I didn't understand when you wrote that title language. It's kind of different, but until I figured it out. So keep the jumper on when you want to tune the SWR to get it lower. Then that's how you do it. Then you remove it when you put the wires together. Like if you're going to do like some kind of ham wire thing, that's what those are for. And I think that's what happened, guys. So this is the tuner I have here. This is the instruction book which I found. This is the closest thing comes to this. It shows 974. It's the 974H, but instead 974HB. Never seen the HB, but instead it's mostly HD. It's usually H, but that's probably what it is. So I'm going to get on out of here. So it's doing good, guys. That's actually when I disconnected it. You guys saw the video before when I showed you it. So the SWR is looking good with the macov5000 without the antenna matcher on. But with the antenna matcher on, it was a little bit much better. But imagine the beam antenna will do okay once because the beam antenna is between like a 2 or 1.7 on some of those channels. But when we tune this down, it'll be okay. It'll do alright with the beam antenna. And this can hook up any CB radio antenna you want with this guy. And also ham radio too. If I want to hook up my antennas up in the trees, the ones I have up in the trees I did back 4 years ago, this thing will still do it with this way. You could tune it and write down the results of your antennas like in the tree and stuff like that. Then once you have all those perfect numbers for it, you'll be able to have everything what you want. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I have to get that one in the tree straightened out later on. But and it should be able to work all CB antennas, wire included, either way. It'll be a great tool for something you guys can use. Make sure you get a nanovna. This thing will save you a lot of hassle. And we have to make sure we check this out. When we hook it up to the Mako or the beam, we'll have to look at the reflected power on this thing. And I have to check the wattage on both the boxes when I get time. Right now I'm still working on that thing in the backyard, digging the holes. And the air seal should be okay soon. We'll probably look it up and look at the watt meter when I get time. But right now I'm kind of tired right now. 7:46 at even. So we'll be able to check this out a little later. So I'll say with a wave to you guys out there. Have a great week this week. And we'll bring out some more videos sometime soon. UDX362 from East Tennessee. I want to wave it on down. This is Foxman 362 World Radio. And I'll catch y'all later. So, air SIBO, it does work. You guys noticed it on the SWR. You saw on the result on ham. I'll catch y'all guys later. And we'll bring out some more videos sometime soon. UDX362 from East Tennessee. The air SIBO is going to do wonderful what I showed you. Catch y'all later and see you on the next video. We'll bring some more videos sometime soon when we bring it out there. Don't forget, the air SIBO is going to be great once she runs. And let's hope it won't be like the one that got knocked down 3 years ago. But this air SIBO will last forever. Catch y'all later. UDX362, East Tennessee. And I'll have a great evening out there. And I'll catch y'all later.